to another Heathen brew day. Sorry about the wobbling camera. I've got it on a stand thing and it's just wobbling. Today's brew day, it is a recipe I got from a guy called Dandasilis, who's got a channel on YouTube called, I think it's Fuck It, Let's Brew It. And it is, for want of a better word, and for want of a better description, I don't know really how else to describe it, it is an Asian inspired or an Asian spiced Californian lager. Californian lager, but it comes from the 2012, the Ys 2012, I think it is. Yes, it is. Californian Common. It was made with mild ale malt because I can't get 6-row in this country, so I've gone for the best substitute I can find, which is mild ale malt, or you could use Vienna malt is another one. It is bittered, and it's only one edition, which is Dr. Rudy or Super Alpha. I think that's coming in at something like 20 IBUs, and there's a gamut, a whole array of Thai spices, Asian spices going into this. We've got coconut going in, we've got kaffir lime leaves going in, we have got lemongrass going in, we've got coriander, saffron, we have got Thai Jasmine basmati rice, we have got lactose going in, we've got the works going in. So sit back, pull up a beer, pull up a chair, pull up whatever you like, sit back and watch my video. I hope you find it interesting. I hope you do find it interesting, because it was an extremely interesting beer to brew, and it's certainly one I'm going to be doing again. So see me later for the resume and the taste, and just enjoy. Cheers. Disaster. There's that much crud came out of the bottom of the mash filter. It sat on the bottom of the element, and when it clicked in to keep the temperatures up during recirculation, it managed to scorch everything in the bottom of that. So I'm scrapping the idea of using the mild ale malt. There's that much sort of protein in it and sort of gelatinous sort of crap in the bottom of that. It's I'm going to run the risk of burning at every stage, so I'm going to ditch it. I'm going to use Venture. So hold tight, we'll be back in a minute. Managed to dough in another batch. I've got in here 3 kilos of Venture and 1 kilo of Vienna and 100 grams of rice hulls, just to try and keep it free in there, because I've got to add the rice to it now and get mashing in really. So sort of got to rescue another hour out of my day. So sit back, enjoy the ride, and let's continue from where we left off. Well, I hope you found that footage interesting, if nothing else. Just a few points to make, really. There was a problem with the mild ale malt, but that was remedied with the Venture and the Vienna malt, which had no problem with recirculating, had no problem mashing. Also, the ingredients as well. The ingredients list is somewhat interesting, if not exciting or exotic. I probably wouldn't have thought about putting Thai long peppers. I never even heard of Thai long peppers until this brew day got planned. And so there's an awful lot of exotic ingredients in there. The coconut in there, and the lactose to give it some sweetness, which is something you probably wouldn't have thought much of putting in a lager or a steam beer. But so without further ado, we'll get on to the grain in the glass section of this video, and so I'd like to thank Dan Distilitz and the Under the Table Brewing guys, Brad and Nate Pocock, just because it's their recipe, their inspiration. Also, I've got to take my hat off as well to Matt Evans. He's got some beer mail coming from me, just as a way of saying thanks to him, because he put me in touch with this particular set of videos. Under the Table Brewing, Brad and Nate, they did a brew day footage and a tasting video, like a part 1 and a part 2 of this particular beer and brew day. and it inspired me really, to the point where I wanted to brew it. It sounded so exotic, and you know. So that's where we are with that. So we get on with the grain in the glass. So without further ado, let's just cut the waffle. So 660. Do you see that? A 660ml bottle. Usual sort of sampling hardware. I tend to bottle a lot of my beers in this big bottle arrangement, this 660ml. You can pour a nice pint, leave all the sediment in the back, you know, back in the bottle. It doesn't really matter too much. But that is my gear of choice today. So let's get on, crack this beer open and see what we got. It's been in the bottle now probably 3-4 months, perhaps 4 months, 3 months definitely. And I'd be lying if I said it was the first time I tasted it. I've had a few of these over the period of the 4 months, and it has changed. The flavour has changed over that period of time. But we'll get on and you'll see what I mean. Fantastic hiss coming from that. Nice amount of cannon smoke. There's a little bit of a neck, a void in the neck there. Don't know what happened to that, to be honest. Could have been anything, but we'll pour it in. It's got a slight chill on it. I don't want it too cold. I want to be able to taste it all. If it's too cold, I think you're gonna, the chill, the cold is gonna mask a lot of the flavour. And the aroma. We'll leave it at that. So that's what we got. Don't know what you'd say. That's a light lager, crystal clear. I mean, it's not over chilled, but it is a fairly clear beer, and in that anyway. Nice head on it. Quite big bubbles, quite frothy. So I don't know how long it's going to last. But let's crack on. Let's get it done. You're getting a lot of that. First off, you're getting an equal pairing between the coconut. Sorry about that. The coconut and the Thai basmati or Thai jasmine rice. Whereas before, you weren't getting so much of that jasmine rice coming forward. It's all predominantly the coconut. That's sort of softened up a little bit more now. There's an aroma of sweetness. That's probably coming from the coconut. You're getting some spice coming through as well. But it's not spice like you would think, maybe like a pumpkin ale or a saison or anything like that. It's not like a spicy, phalenic sort of aroma of cloves, that sort of thing. It's a lot more subtle than that. It's very Asian inspired, but not like a green Thai curry. We're not on about that sort of aroma and flavour. It's almost like the sort of spice that you probably get from like a cardamom, a light cardamom or coriander that you might get in a dessert. That's the only thing I can really put it down as. This is what this beer comes across as in the aroma. Well, it's been in the glass a little while. Still got a nice halo, a nice ring of nice cap of foam on there. Still looking good. Bubbles are racing up, and you can see that. Racing up the glass. Very attractive looking. So let's get in, let's have a drink. So, cheers. So another thing to note on the aroma, and I could get a little bit of it when I was taking the sip then, is the yeast. You can smell that lager yeast, that sort of lagery. There's definitely a lagery flavour to it. What's interesting about this beer now, going on the flavour, for a long time it was quite sweet, but not cloying. It was sweet. It was offset by the coconut. It was almost a bit like a macaroon sort of a flavour to it, almost a sweetness, balanced. But now it's become quite crisp. It's certainly sweet as far as a lager goes, but there's a nice dryness to the back of the palate. Hops, let's say Dr. Rudy or Super Alpha, I think they're called now. No, Super Alpha is what they were called, Dr. Rudy is what they're called now. Just there for bitterness, and it's coming in at something like 20 IBUs. That head's not going anywhere. It's nice, it's attractive, there's a nice bit of lacing on the glass. It tastes like a lager, but it is spiced. And you're getting that lovely sort of basmati rice, jasmine rice flavour coming through, and then it sort of softens it up with a little bit of coconut. That is, in my book, one of the best beers I've brewed. It's one of the most interesting, it is the most interesting beer I've brewed, without a doubt, without a doubt. Anybody who sees this video, or anybody who's seen the recipe, or anybody who's seen Under the Table Brewing's video on it, or anybody who knows Dandisillits, then they will know that this is an enigma of a beer. I've never had anything like it. Soft spice coming through, very small amount of warmth from those peppers. A little bit of warmth just from those long peppers. I'm really proud of myself for that, for brewing this. And I say, I've got to say a massive thanks to the guys involved, the guys who've inspired, and to Matt Evans, of course, for putting me in touch with this video, of which I would never have known. So many thanks, fellas. I'm going to round it up. So please subscribe, do the bell if you want to see any more of my videos when they get uploaded, and I just, you know, go out there, go and brew some beer and experiment. You'll be pleasantly surprised, I dare say. So many thanks everyone. It's been Heathen Brewer, and I'll see you later.